night in Baltimore City at RadioOnFire.com, home of the Diamond K Morning Show. New episodes streaming daily at 9 a.m. That's every day. Call-in number is 404-436-1277. How you feeling today, Diamond K?
Good. I'm good.
My man, Diamond K, always on the
unseasonably warm
today. Not like the fall at all.
Yeah, it's coming though.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It's coming.
But real quick, just want to let you know today's broadcast was brought to you in part by the Baltimore Music Awards. Let your voice be heard at the 2017 BMAs. That's the Baltimore Music Awards. The polls are now open for the 7th, and that's the 7th annual red carpet event honoring Baltimore. Log on to BaltimoreMusicAwards.com before December 3rd. Cast your vote in all categories. Just to remind you, Radio on Fire broadcast reach over about 276,000 viewers per month. Advertise your product, service or event. Radio on Fire by sponsoring the episode of any of the shows for as low as $50. Visit RadioOnFire.com/promo to get started. If you want to see any past episodes of any show, visit RadioOnFire.com to watch us on demand. Click radio shows and the name of our shows to see any episodes you missed. Once again, this is being brought by RadioOnFire.com. One half of the speakeasy today, Lady Pope is out there shining in Vegas.
Okay. What's happening in Vegas? A lot of people in Vegas the last week or so.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I got notice, early this week that I'm not gonna be here, and she out there getting it in. I guess I can only imagine, man. Must be nice, but I'm out here. One half of the speakeasy, sophisticated savage, E.J. Stewart, and it's a lot going on, man. A lot I want to talk about, man. It's been a lot of things. I watched all of the shows this week, man. Shout out to everybody that was definitely was holding it down. A lot of great perspectives. And the silent killer Nick just walked in. And everything is everything. But starting off, man, I wanted to talk about Team Trump and the ratting that's going on. The snitch. I see you, Ash. The snitching that's going on with Team Trump. So Team Trump, Donald Trump is out here basically losing. Hopefully, his entire team and his campaign and everybody that's been affiliated with him is under fire right now, if you haven't been paying attention. And it seems like, unfortunately, that every time it seems like we're getting closer and closer to some truth and attention being drawn to Donald Trump, something crazy happens. And this week, what is being known as a terrorist attack, some bikers and people out in the street were run over by a man in the car who's been found to be from Europe, I believe. And they claim that he's affiliated with some Muslim groups, but not a lot has come out after that. But it just seems like in the midst of everything heating up with Donald Trump, something tragic happens. And I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory. It's just sad that, these things are happening and we're really trying to focus on Trump and figure out what's going on. So I wanted to mention that. It's really crazy. I'm hoping that something can come from all of this.
Definitely.
Tell you the truth, I'm really not confident. History doesn't really show too many rich white men going down in a blaze of glory, but all we can do is hope at this point and hope.
No blaze of glory, just go down.
Just go down. Yeah, not in a blaze of glory. Yeah. Shout out to the former FBI director, heating things up. He's relentless.
Talking about Mueller.
Mueller's relentless. I've actually had a chance to personally meet him at Princeton University, and was a nice guy. And but he's definitely showing that he has the integrity to go after Trump and be relentless in this investigation. So shout out to him, definitely getting it in. I've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time now. Rape culture in the United States and what's going on. I think we touched on it a little bit on one of the previous shows on how there's been a lot of exposure and a lot of stories coming up about teachers sleeping with young boys, which is something that it seemingly happened a lot more often. And it's funny because as a society, we never really think about that as a negative aspect of rape culture. And even when I watch people talk about on Facebook and things like that, we always laugh and joke and say, like, where were these teachers when I was growing up? But as that's happening, you see what's going on in Hollywood, how you have big studio execs being jammed up for rape culture and exposing a lot of these famous Oscar-winning actors, and people are now coming out with the truth, and Weinstein is being exposed. But most recently, you have the star of House of Cards, Kevin Spacey, being exposed to, I guess, trying to date or solicit sex to a 14-year-old girl. House of Cards has just stopped. It's ended. I never really got too deep into the show.
It's a good show.
It's a good show, I've heard. And ironically, they filmed a lot in Baltimore. Preston Street, when I used to manage Dionysus Bar, they would turn that little part of Preston and Charles and make it look like Washington, D.C. I never stayed around to meet Kevin Spacey, but I know a lot of people watch this show. And this is huge. You know, Netflix made a major stance. They took a major stance by immediately canceling the show. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Cut it off. It's done. And it seems like, you know, with everything that's going on and everything being exposed, we've heard about the rumors. We saw, if you've ever watched the intervention shows and you saw the Corey on there, you know, they've always talked about rape culture in Hollywood, but it seems like it's coming out more and more. And this is a major problem. You know, it's like your favorite stars that you watch on TV, your favorite shows, your favorite movies, and the studios that they come from have these people that have sick problems. And it's real. The thing is, in this country, I don't know how outraged we are as a people. But I do credit Netflix for going in and cutting House of Cards. I'm sorry to all the fans that they had to do that, but they took a stance, and I commend them for that. So going forward, switching gears. Texans Onwer. I know people have been talking about it a lot on RadioOnFire.com and all of the different shows. Texans Onwer got exposed for basically talking about NFL players, including his own, basically saying, you know, can't let the inmates run the prison. And my thing here is, I'm not surprised. We knew that the majority of these owners aligned themselves with Donald Trump, donated millions to his campaign fund. We've always known that there was the good old boy syndrome. It was the owner versus the slave mentality. And I think it really opened a lot of people's eyes to what's really going on. And I'm glad that what he said was exposed. He was in a meeting with his peers where he did not plan to be exposed, but he was. And I'm glad that he did. I'm glad that they exposed him. And as a result of that, DeAndre Hopkins, some of his players were very outspoken about what happened. They boycotted in unison, many of them, not all of them. And I was happy to see that. What really has come from that thus far, I don't know. One of the most outspoken players, their Pro Bowl left tackle, who was holding out majority of the season as a result, in my opinion, of being outspoken. Yes, he was holding out. He was traded not too long ago. I'm not surprised about what's going on. And I'm just glad that it got exposed. Don McKay, I know you on your shows.
Sure.
I mean, what was your initial reaction?
About the Texans owner, you know, definitely not surprised. He definitely siding with the Jerry Jones mentality of we own these boys type of thing.
Right.
And I'm glad that they are letting their voices be heard, and there's no confusion as to where they stand with things. And I think that a lot of people knew, but some people get confused. Some people forget. Some people got bad memories. It's like, some people smoke, so they forget.
Right.
And every now and then you need to be reminded that these guys of a certain age, I say that the ones that's 65, 70, 80, they got their old school mentality.
They grew up in that.
Now, with the ones that still in their 30s and 40s, they may have it to a degree, right? Because they're the offspring of that generation. But it's not. I don't think it runs as deep,
right?
And it can be, corrected. But we got a generation of racist people that don't like the way things are going.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they grade be on their way out of here. That's the baby boomers generation.
Yes, the last of the baby boomers.
Yeah, they grade be up out of here.
The last of the baby boomers, for sure. So, I mean, with that said, and going into the NFL topic, Colin Kaepernick's lawyer released a statement saying that he believed Colin Kaepernick will be on an NFL team very shortly.
I do too, and I said that before.
and we thought I was hopeful, not hopeful. I was basically painting the brilliant mastermind picture that when the Patriots traded Garoppolo away and got draft picks back, that maybe they would pick up Kaepernick.
Okay, you're talking crazy now.
I mean, I looked at it like this.
He definitely cannot go to the Patriots.
I looked at it like this. That would be probably one of the worst cities, one of the worst fan bases for
they
him
would
to go
not
to.
have that.
They wouldn't have had it. Yeah. But it was also one of the best places for him to go.
No, because it's absolutely worse.
If any franchise could quell their fans, it would be the Patriots.
No. First of all, he will get no play time. That's first.
Yeah. No, I think they would get him on the field to do something.
I don't. And secondly, that would be a sellout move to go to the Patriots.
Absolutely.
He absolutely would not go to the Patriots.
But where is he going to go?
There's a lot of options out here.
There's really not.
There really are. I mean, look, quarterbacks are getting hurt every week.
Yeah, but when we're saying actually have competition for a job on a good team, where would he act?
There's plenty of places he can go.
Where? Which team?
How many? What teams? He can come to the Ravens for one.
Okay, but y'all made that clear. That wasn't going down. The Ravens made that clear.
No, I don't think so. No. The Ravens didn't make it clear.
Okay,
it ain't clear.
Okay,
because all bets are off now that they renegotiating everything behind the scenes.
Right.
So I think I think it's easier to say who doesn't need a quarterback. I mean, who doesn't need a quarterback, because more teams need than don't.
I would say yes. I mean, again, you're also taking the risk that
Oakland needs a quarterback.
David Carr is back. Derek Carr is back.
Yeah, but they need a quarterback. See, these ones that's coming off injuries, you need to think about long-term solutions.
Yeah, but they're not. Derek Carr is their long-term solution.
You think so?
He's young. I mean, he's young. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yes.
That's their long-term solution. But the question is,
Denver.
So here's the thing. Well, Denver also drafted a quarterback first round this year.
Texas.
So they're putting him back in. The Texans. Now the Texans.
Here's a way to quell things.
The Texans might be Texans might be a good option. But we're also banking on the fact that this man hasn't played in a year. So what if
he's healthy?
What if he actually gets a shot and doesn't perform?
What doesn't perform? I mean, performs like Flacco? Nah. What is it? What is your idea of not performing first?
Your hate for Flacco runs deep.
I don't hate Flacco. I just think his time is up. He's like a pair of sneakers that you done wore and they don't look good anymore. And you got somewhere to go, and these sneakers right here, and somebody like, why don't you wear them? You're like, I can't wear them sneakers. But you wasn't saying that 5 years ago when we was on vacation.
Right,
they threw. Right. They ran over.
He's 10 years in the game. I mean, he's had his
5 years. He's 5 years past his prime.
Who's y'all backup quarterback?
Mallett.
Ryan Mallett. Okay.
Formerly from the Texans.
I mean, Kaepernick could go to the Ravens, could go to Texas. Let's say that he does.
He can go to Florida.
Which team? Jacksonville.
Yes, Jacksonville.
No.
Okay.
They Bortles is playing.
Yeah.
Bortles is playing down there, and he doesn't even fit their system. They got two hard-nosed running backs.
Miami.
clearly didn't want him.
No.
Clearly.
No.
And they clearly
the
still
owners said that because they were colluding against him. Collusion factor,
but
all
not,
that shit
but
y'all said.
Their pride is they're not going to turn on their pride. They're
Okay.
old.
Get blown out 40-0.
So the Dolphins just traded away J.J. Just went to the Pro Bowl last year, led the NFL in rushing.
Mm-hmm.
They're shopping their number one receiver. Mm-hmm. They're tanking. They're literally saying we'd rather lose every game than have a Colin Kaepernick to possibly win. So they made their stance clear. So I say that to say, right, what team will he go to, right? But let's say he does get on the team. What does that now do for those that will boycott him?
I think that see now what this experiment has become so much bigger than intended.
Correct.
It's showing racist companies.
Correct.
Like Papa John's.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
It's showing it's the people that hate on Kaepernick have got to give him props for the side effects of this thing. We would have never we've been able to really see where people stand.
Right.
And some companies need to be shut down and not supported. Papa John's pizza don't even taste that good.
Terrible.
You know
Service
what I mean?
Terrible.
And we won't get to his comments, but I'm just saying the movement expands. The movement shifts.
The movement expanded, but what does it do?
No, I'm saying if he goes on a team,
what is
do something else?
So what does it do for the people that refuse to watch? Do you now watch? Do you now watch with a conscience?
People have
right.
So this was a transition season, and this is a side effect season because it started last season,
right?
But now they really feeling the effects now,
right?
If I'm in charge of the NFL, I would try my best to get Kaepernick on a team.
Yes.
A and B, not to mandate that players stand or sit,
right?
And that they should have complete free speech to do what they want to do.
They did keep that intact.
And,
unlike the
NBA.
That's what I'm
saying. I would do that. And
unlike the NBA.
Right, well, we ain't talking about NBA.
Unlike the NBA.
And you can still wrap yourself, and my thing is this, so you make everybody happy. You make those people that want to protest happy, and you wrap yourself in the American flag, which will make those other people happy. And just like any wound is going to take some time to heal,
right? We
got 6 more weeks of regular season, something like that. Maybe 5.
We got 8 weeks.
We got 8 weeks. Okay, we got 8 weeks of regular season, and then we got a postseason after that, and then we're going to have the hangover, and then the draft, and then if we can clean all this up this season.
So you're saying all will be forgiven. All is well.
All will be well. It won't be necessarily forgiven, and it won't be forgotten.
All is well.
Because the white privilege and the double standards, with the reason why Justin Timberlake is back in the daggone Super Bowl, it's still in your face. Yeah. But we can move forward because most people don't like politics because it's confusing and it causes them to think.
Right.
And so the down comes from the fact that it's just words.
People on the middle of the fence.
Yeah,
middle of the road, and the dedication is not
they're
there.
all the way to the left, right?
Correct.
And they don't, and they say, when we watch the news, then we can show this part. I don't even want to show this part. I don't even want to talk about this, and they act like that. So the football season, to me, and let's keep in mind these teams are not broke.
Right.
None of these, down. They still have the highest ratings of anything,
and they still have their guarantee.
Don't feel networks. Sorry for
they
NFL team.
They have their guaranteed money from the networks. We talked about that.
Right.
They're in a contract where even if the NFL went into a holdout season, they still have their money for the next 3 years, guaranteed up front. So why is it, Dominic K? I find it real funny, man, because sometimes I am not for my own good. I feel like a prophet. I feel like I know like certain situations and things that could happen and they will happen. So you got the Papa John's owner coming out basically saying that, in a nutshell, because of the boycotting, his business, his overall stock has went down like 11% or something like that.
That's what he said.
Dominique, when I sat here and I said,
he said much more than that.
When I sat down and I said, boycott, let's also boycott a lot of the sponsorship.
Yeah, but he's lying. So that's different. So
okay.
The only thing only thing that he is doing is a Trump tactic. He's taking something that is his fault and trying to shift else.
True.
Their pizza sucks.
But now what has that done?
Their revenue went up.
But what has he done now to himself?
Exposed himself.
He's exposed. Well, we already knew.
Aligning himself.
We already knew. He was official sponsor of the NFL for the longest time. We already knew how he really felt.
Sure.
But now I think what he's done as a back result, if there were folks that support and believe in Kaepernick and the boycott, what the Papa John's owner has now done, he's now put himself on the side. He's now ostracized himself and put himself on the side to say, I'm not in support of what's going on. He's using a Trump tactic to fake that his stock has went down and that his business is hurting. He's actually made it easier to do what I've been telling people to do. If you really want to hurt the NFL, you got to understand the NFL is a shield. It's a shield that is represented in part as a spokesman by Roger Goodell. It's a shield that's made up of 32 owners. If you really want to hit their pockets, you don't vilify the players. You don't talk trash about them. You go at your ownership. Your local ownership in your city. There's 32 teams. They're in 32 cities. You go at the ownership of the city. You go at the sponsors that sponsor that team. You go at the sponsors that sponsor the league. And even in the fact that he is lying, he's now galvanized a community to say, we didn't like this shit anyway. So we're definitely not going to mess with you now.
Yeah, but that's not by our doing. That's because he chose to show his face. So that's still, it
doesn't matter. It whether or not we initiated it, whether or not that was the agenda.
We had nothing to do with that. He just tripped and fell. And now we can't say, oh my God, we were the ones that made him fall. He tripped on his own.
But does the end not justify the means?
We just like the result.
Does the end not justify the means though? Like, even though we didn't have a hand in him doing that, we now have the responsibility to say, okay, now we can rally behind this. Now Papa John's the official sponsor, the official pizza of the NFL. We not messing with you. So when his numbers actually do plummet, we can take ownership and say, we did that. I mean, think about it. If
we can't take credit for that, because that's the reverse of what he just did. Us taking credit for I'm saying their sales plummeting is us taking credit for that is just like him blaming on the NFL. That's not the reason. The result is because their product is inferior. That's the reason.
But if we as a community make a conscious and concerted effort to say, we're not messing with you.
That's true.
That does things.
Now that's true.
That's my point. Even if and that's always been my point.
But that's not an example of that.
I think it is. I think it can be. Because I think everybody on my news feed, on my timeline is saying, we not messing with Papa John's. Yeah. These are things that we should have been doing.
Mine too.
We should have been doing.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that it depends on what it is. Now, let's say that's Papa John's.
Right.
Let's say it's something that we hold closer.
Like what?
To the heart.
Like
I don't know.
Hennessy.
Walmart.
I mean, but there've been tons of people that have said they're going to boycott Walmart in the past.
But they didn't. But how long did you do it? And or Uber.
A lot of people boycotted Uber too,
and a lot of people did it for a week. But now I see a lot of people still catching Uber.
Here's my thing. I'd never disagree with that, because that was always my point in saying, if you're boycotting the NFL, you might as well be prepared to boycott literally damn near everything. My thing is, people will always respond and say, well, we can't do that. We can't do two things at once. That's bullshit. You know, we really have to see where these companies align themselves and who we really could do without. You know, it's funny because there's so many people, and I said this before, it seemed like probably 80% of the people that I knew that boycotted the NFL never even watched it in the first place. And which always made me question, like, if you never watched it in the first place, are you really sacrificing anything for your cause? While meanwhile on the back end, and I think you said this, you know, them not watching is still impactful. But if you never watched it before, are you really doing anything? You know, I would say okay, and I did the same thing. I stopped watching games consistently, and I even said, you know, when I found out the NBA was doing what had that clause in there in the rules, I said I'm gonna watch them less too. I said, I'm not going to drink Bud Light. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You know, it's certain things that we have to stand up for something and take a concerted effort and say, we're going to do something. You have to. And I think what he's done as a result, he now has our community and our eyes open because none of this is new. I mean, if you look at any NFL commercial, he's had Peyton Manning as the poster boy for Papa John's. It's the official NFL pizza. I mean, this guy is in bed with these owners. He's the same as these owners. You know, so even though we might not have liked Papa John's in the first place, this guy has always been with them. But I think the positive result of this, again, is that we as a community have now had the ability to say, look, we're not going to bang with you. And that's what it is. So moving to NBA. And I wanted to talk about something most recently. I don't know if anybody on the other show said this, but I know Charlemagne, when he came back after Halloween or whenever it was, brought up Stephen A. Smith's comments. Did you hear Stephen A. Smith's comments?
Stephen A. Smith makes so many.
Well, this one was.
Which one you talking about?
Now, this one was the most recent one, and how he discussed the hoodies.
Okay.
He discussed the hoodies that Nike has produced for players on the sidelines to wear, and how these hoodies will have white folks in the stand feeling reminiscent of Trayvon Martin. I'm serious. He literally said this on live air, and on the first part of it, I'm like, man, this is insane. Like, I can't believe he said that. I mean, just practically having hoodies for the players makes 100% sense. Just biologically, just scientifically. They're sweating. They're in an air-conditioned arena. You know, when they're on the sideline, they usually use towels to keep themselves warm, regulated. A hoodie makes perfect sense. It's team issue, team uniform. It looks nice. It makes perfect sense. But to say it could remind the white people in the stands 20 to 30 to 40 to 50, 100 feet away from them, Martin-esque. What kind of shit is that? What kind of shit is that? So now Stephen A. Smith is saying hoodies are synonymous. Hoodies are synonymous with black men. Hoodies on black men are now synonymous with danger, fear. Hoodies now on black men give white people in fear a license to feel Trayvon Martin. I mean, what is he really saying, Dominic? I think he needs to be. I think you need to go at him like you did Roland.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, but on the other hand, you know, this guy, he does work in the arenas. He does broadcast in a lot of live arenas. He is there, and he does hear from the people in the stands. What if he really has a point? What if what he's saying is that while it's wrong, white people really do fear black men in hoodies?
I
No question.
You know, I mean, I ridiculous statement.
No question.
You know what I mean? It's he's a shock jock to a degree,
right?
But at the same time, a lot of the things is other people think, and I think some black people feel like that too.
Absolutely.
But just to mean anything other than that's his opinion. Those are the type of things that he says to keep his job and make money. You know.
Yeah.
You know. So just we don't have to. I think that it's a ridiculous statement. It's absolutely not true.
Right.
First and foremost, and even if it was the case,
right?
Even if it does remind people, white people, of Trayvon Martin, so what?
Right.
I mean, I guess in theory, black adults wearing the hoodies will remind you of a black teenager wearing a hoodie. Okay, yeah, I mean, I get it. All right. Right. But the deeper message that he was trying to say is he didn't think it was a good idea, and he thinks that it dredges up bad memories. If that is the case, then what do you think that it would do for black people? It would remind them of it as well. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
so it's funny, right? And I totally agree, and I felt that way from the beginning. Why, in essence, when Mark Cuban said something very similar to this, when he said, if I saw somebody, and I forget how he couched this, but he virtually, in my opinion, was indirectly talking about brothers wearing hoodies. And if he saw, he virtually couched it to say if he saw somebody scary looking in a hoodie on one side of the street, he would cross the street and go the other way.
I think all people would do that sometimes in some instances.
I don't know.
You never been. I mean, so put yourself in the mind of a scared person, not just a white person.
Absolutely,
just a scared person.
Absolutely.
Some people are just scary like that. Absolutely. Scary meaning they're scared easily.
Absolutely.
Some type of guys are just like that, right? So you see some guys coming down the street that's the same race as you, but you view them as being intimidating.
Of course.
Crossing the street with that mindset, I can understand why you might do that.
Right, but here's the difference.
And if they're another race, you may cross the street as well.
Here's the difference. We live in an age and time where you're older than I am. But growing up in the city and growing up in the urban environment is almost, especially on the East Coast, is very similar no matter where you're from.
Yeah.
And to be cautious, and I would love to think differently and believe that every brother is my brother and that I can trust them and trust and believe that they're not going to harm me. And, it makes sense if there's a group of guys, or if there's this or that, or if a brother looks kind of intimidating, sure, you're on alert. But Mark Cuban is a billionaire. And I really felt that when he said that, he was full of shit. How many times is Mark Cuban really in a situation by himself where he's put in that situation?
It could definitely happen. So he could go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom where?
In his arena.
Shit.
And I'm sure he would just go take a piss.
He has a bathroom in the suite.
There's definitely situations where it can happen. Let's not act like everybody's untouchable. There's definitely situations where you've been in the stall or at the same time as millionaires, and you probably didn't even know.
No, very true. I mean,
and they had no security with it. Hey, he's going to the bathroom. I mean, just.
But we're not talking about millionaires that live in.
And Cuban, I think, is a billionaire.
He's a billionaire. So, that's my point.
Yeah.
So, and then the tone of what he was saying was a problem to me. And that leads me back to the theory that I think we as a people have to realize that the NBA, NFL, I've said this before, the NBA, NFL, MLB, MLS, all of these people are in bed with one. They all flock together. They all hang out.
I think it's more so. I think it's more so a mindset of the haves and the have against the have-nots.
Which is always primarily related to what in this country?
Money
and
status
and their ethnicity.
I don't even think so, because I don't think exclusively that, because when you look at somebody like Stephen A. Smith, he probably will make that same statement. So it's and he's black, but it's more so you have certain people, and let's look at this. Let's look at the person that killed Trayvon Martin.
Yeah,
what was his race?
He ethnically had some Spanish or Hispanic. He
did not look like a white person.
But he culturally thought like
correct.
We can't even generalize a white person.
That's what I'm saying.
We're saying people of that
right.
That
so that's exactly where I'm going. That could be a black person with that mindset.
Absolutely.
That can be a Spanish person with that mindset. Absolutely. That can be a white person with that mindset. Which is why I get so angry when and we have shows here that think like this. I get so angry with this because we have other races that can have that mindset. It can work the other way. Absolutely. But you can have a white person who is down.
Absolutely.
And just because he's white, that doesn't mean that he can't understand something basic and simple of that shit ain't right the way they treating my friends. They can understand. He may not. I don't know what it's like to per se of a woman to have a baby, but I can say, well, God damn it, I know that shit hurts.
You know, else too, a large part of the problem is that as a people, we mix racism and prejudice up. We use the word race first of all and racism too willy-nilly without really understanding where it comes from. Race is a concept does not exist if you think about it. And I always use this example. We are all of the human race. If we ever found out that there were aliens, they would not be of the human race. The human race is biologically one people, but the idea of race came from the white male dominant society that believed people of color, people of other sexual orientation are not human beings. Hence the term racism. Hence where they believe that people that are not like them should not be afforded the same human life qualities that they do. So going forward, when you really talk about racism, you're talking about the systemic ability to prevent somebody who is like you, a human being, from human being qualities, life qualities, the equal opportunity of pursuing a happy life. And I think to what you're speaking of, Diamond K, that pisses you off, Black people, we're not aware of the fact that prejudice and race can be had by anybody. So here's an example. I can be prejudiced against white people, like you guys were talking on the show last night. You know, my nephew can't date a white boy or white girl. You know, that's a prejudice because I'm judging another culture. And I could have racist ideals and in some ways practice ideals. And if I'm in a hiring position, I could say, well, I don't want no white boys on my team.
And it happens.
It happens. And I won't ideals. The bigger picture where systemic racism comes in. Now, if that happens and the white boy appeals, 95% of the anybody to kick him down and say, "Cracker, you can't read, so why are you talking to me?" That's the difference in this country. Black people, brown people have never culturally had the ability to prevent anyone from.
I disagree with that. We definitely have the ability.
We had the ability to prevent people of their civil liberties systemically in this country.
No, not prevent.
There's never been a white person in the history of this country.
But here's the issue. The question is the issue. The question itself is the issue, and it is the biggest problem that I had fundamentally with the civil rights movement.
The issue
that I have with it, and I do have an issue, is the direction, the goal of the movement.
Are you talking about then or the goal of the movement now?
Well, the goal then affects us even now, because
I agree to disagree, but go ahead.
The goal was inclusion. The goal was to change the mindset of the white people. The goal was to we treat us the same. We want to go to the same school you go to, because in their mind they thought that school was better.
Right.
They said we want to be on the bus so we can go to the school and eat the restaurant that you eat at, because they thought that one was better. They felt that what was in the other was better and theirs was inferior because that's what they were taught.
But in some ways, in defense, that was true. When you're talking about facilities and schools,
but that's where the pride comes in. So we had our own schools,
right.
We had our own doctors, we had our own everything, our own money.
Right.
And where things got confused is that the white people started to understand after we begged and pleaded and moaned and groaned and sat in and whined and cried for the white only pie. When they gave it to us, they said, "Oh shit, they just gonna give us the money because they just want to spend the money with us."
Right.
So what they did was they started taking our money, not treating us any better from the standpoint of maybe to your face, maybe not. You know, they weren't hosing people down, but they were definitely taking our money. And we were happy to give it to them because we felt that it was fair now because we can go to the same schools. And what should have happened is that we should have continued to innovate, because we're the smartest people. We should have continued to innovate and make our stuff better.
But
and make it a direct competitor as opposed to submitting.
Right. I mean, here's the other thing. We have to look at it. You know, I can't fault the people of that time.
I do.
No, but I have to say with respect to it, because there were instances
it led us astray.
But there were instances where logistically what they had was better. You know, when you're talking about the structure.
What does better mean?
When I'm saying when we have
more,
we have schools that are ran down, when we have
these, fix it up.
Yeah, but
we're the people. We do.
We didn't,
because the thing is
that
we were the people that was fixing the other schools.
We didn't have the infrastructure. Also, let's also remember that while
it was not proper leadership.
But even when
it was a bunch of soldiers and not enough generals.
Here's the other thing too. I can't say that in that movement that people necessarily asked integration.
No, they did.
No. Asking for equality versus integration is two different things.
They thought that they were one and the same.
Think about that.
See, the issue is you had all these so-called smart people. Think about what I'm saying.
Integration versus equality are two different things.
No, not in the mindset of the people in the 60s and the 50s. They thought that the integration would lead to equality. They thought that the reason why they're treating us like this is because we're separated. So we should be together, and they thought that we were together.
One of the biggest proponents, one of the biggest people on a bandwagon, on a grandstand for equality was Martin Luther King. I cannot remember, and I'm not fact checking. I do not remember a time where he preached for integration. Equality.
Are you serious?
Wait a minute. Hear me out. Equality versus integration is two different things. If I'm asking you, and if you remember,
equality in itself, the integration it does.
No, it's not.
If you're not equal, you can't go where you want to go. So if you're equal, then you have to go.
If I'm asking you not to treat me as if I went to the same high school as you, I'm asking you that if you don't know me, to treat me like a human being. That's equality.
That's not equality,
my brother.
That's respect.
When we're getting beaten, respect comes with that's equal
White people
treatment.
beat up each other, but the
reason behind they didn't sick dogs on each other.
Sure they did.
They sick dogs on each other.
Sure they did.
They lynched each other.
I didn't say that.
That's what happened.
They definitely lynched. People definitely killed that way. Were killed that way.
Right.
My issue, and you're missing the point, is this. It still exists today. People feel that white is better.
I'm not debating that yet.
Because the civil rights era.
I don't.
Wrong message.
Let me tell you historically that did not even start with the civil rights. If you want to be historical about it, We can go back to Africa.
We can't go back that far.
No, yes, we can.
We can't go back that far because we don't have enough reference points.
No, we can
to be able to
we know
document it.
We know that the way that the colonial English, Spanish people infiltrated our strong African nations is that they showed them vanity. They showed them things that they did not need. They made them believe that their way of life.
That's how you conquer a people, and that's not something that's exclusive. That's not something that's exclusive to us. And we can't go back. We can't go back that far.
That's historically true.
We can't go back that far. That's happened to every race.
Is it historically true or not?
That's happened to every race and every nation.
But it's affected us the most. It's affected us the most. But
listen, we can't go back that far because we can't. Let me tell you why. Because that adds to the whining and the crime. Shit.
So slavery has no impact on us today.
Let me say this: it does, but it's a mindset. But the chains are broken, but the chains still exist in the mind.
Of course,
because of the simple facts, the same vanity things that you're talking about.
Yes,
that
it plagues us today.
Exactly.
So I'm saying the civil rights, civil rights is not where it started.
But listen, let's flip it. Conquering on people. That's how you do it.
That's how it takes centuries.
No, it doesn't.
It happened. It literally happened.
It didn't take centuries to conquer that people.
It literally over 500 years. We literally would die. Like, what do you mean?
It was less time.
You mean in the time that it first happened?
Don't act like it took 500 years to
conquer
that continent. No, it was done quickly. And the reason why it was done quickly is because of mindset. Because there was no unity amongst them, and they thought foolishly, as a lot of people, not exclusively Africans, this happens throughout the world.
Very true.
Your enemy, they'll look at two villages that was beefing, and they come in there and and they would side with the stranger before siding with each other because
even though it's happened around the world. No other people have. Let
me ask you this.
But hold on, let me finish. No other people have been influenced by like us because prime example when Wales or Ireland, when those people are captured, right, they assimilate into the culture, and you can only tell a difference culturally by how they speak and how they think. And sure, they get ostracized as time goes on. We literally got enslaved by something we could not control. The way we looked.
No. We were enslaved because we did not fight.
I didn't say because.
We did not fight off the invaders.
I didn't say because.
We did not
unite with that.
We did not unite to fight off.
We didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't know. At the time. That's what we saying the same thing.
You said an alien. Let's talk about this. Let's say that there's some type of invasion from Mars.
Give me the Independence Day scenario.
No, totally different. Let's say there's an invasion from Mars, right? And the Martians come to black people and say, "We want to help y'all beat these white people." And they're Martians, though. They don't look like humans. They're nothing like us. We don't know anything about them. We don't know their background. We don't know nothing. And they come to us and say, we're going to help y'all beat the white people, right? Would we side with these Martians or would we band with the white people and say, let's fight off the Martians?
We don't even have to be Martians. We could be black and we try to do that.
No, I'm just saying.
We wouldn't do it.
We wouldn't do it?
We wouldn't side with the Martians.
I disagree.
We wouldn't side with them.
I think that we would. Now, let's say this. Let's say that the white people came and said, no, we got to come together and fight these Martians. It would be mixed, but I think that the majority of the people would side with the Martians.
That's bold.
And here's the thing. If I was the Martians trying to take over the world, that's exactly the way I would do it. I wouldn't do it the other way. I would go with the black people,
of course,
because it's less of them.
Of course,
and then we would kill off the white people, and then double back and do whatever we're going to do to the black people. And that's how you conquer people. And that's how Africa was conquered.
So why, Diamond Cake, can we not be our own Martians? If it's that easy, why can't we be our own Martians?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because in our nature, we don't want to do that. We want to live and let live, right? By nature, Europeans are like that. By nature, we just want to have fun, be with our family, make some money, chill with our friends, and have fun. We want to live and let live.
Right.
It's not in our nature to want to decimate people and wipe them off the face of the earth. And that's not in our nature.
Very true.
Now, so because that's not in our nature, it's not in our nature and invade and take over.
Very
now,
true.
we will protect our own.
Very true.
But we ain't going to, you know what?
But why can't we
That's not how we roll.
Okay, I get what you
So the only thing that we can do in our is only, and you got people that feel like that. That's more aggressive like that. But the majority of our people,
we want to just do our own thing.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm going back to, and we missed this though. I don't disagree with you about integration, and I've even said this on my show. When we integrated with black college football, that's what we lost. Our black schools suffered. Our black athletes lost anything and any power that they had, because when we were making it on our own and we weren't going to these Alabamas, to these Miamis, I mean, blatant racism. Yeah. Okay.
I believe that it's there. And
but I believe,
how many times does Lucy have to pull the football away?
I mean,
how many times?
But here's the other thing. Until you can give them a better game in town, who am I going to stop you from potentially getting your millions? Now, this because
but that's fine. But get your millions. But what do you do with your millions when you get it?
Well, what you do with it is not always the end all answer. When you're getting your millions, don't lose your soul in the process. But I mean, who am I to say that? My thing is though, equality versus integration. MLK, what he simply said was, treat me like a damn human being. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
He said that.
Now, where we went wrong,
but the movement did not start with Martin Luther King.
Now, where the movement went wrong, to your point, and we talked about this, we didn't prepare the future generation. One, two. We lost it in the 80s in the drugs.
But that's because you're dealing with. That's true. You're dealing with a foe who doesn't want the same things you want.
Correct.
So therefore, you have to operate like it never was over. The fight was never over. You never, like you said, we never arrived. We let you go to this school because of what you call affirmative action. Everybody knows that it's affirmative action.
Which factually, because I'm in higher ed, I'm a higher ed person. Affirmative action has statistically benefited white women more than anything.
Absolutely, but my point is that it's a mindset,
right?
They look at you like, look at her. She only here because of this, and it can be completely incorrect.
There's articles about that.
But they're just saying it in their mind. So she's going through her whole years with these people doing to her behind her back, making fun of her, spitting on her, all that kind of shit. When she could have gone somewhere else.
Yes. But see that always point, and it's like we talk about the affirmative action and we have arrived, and that's exactly tell people, if you're mad at the NFL, be mad at all of them. And that's where I've literally come to that.
I don't even feel like that.
No, I gotta stop you.
There's
no way we can say,
if you're mad at the NFL, start something else.
That's it. I get that too. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Because it goes to the white only pie. It goes back to let us come in Woolworths. You know what I mean? But they're gonna treat you like shit, and they're not gonna look you in your face when you give them the money. So open another fucking store and put Woolworth out of business. Woolworth is a chain that's been gone. But I'm just saying. But my point is that for far too long, and even still now, we will complain about service.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
But we'll complain. But see, this is the
thing. And then we treat our own to work. We treat our own bad.
Not only that, we'll complain about service,
right?
And go back. Man, to be treated better, and all this kind of shit.
We talked about this on the last show. How
we could put all the motherfuckers out of business,
boycott of stores.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but not only that, put them out of business by direct competition.
Yes.
Either directly supporting somebody, give them an alternative.
But here's the thing of what I'm saying, Dominic K. I'm literally saying the same thing. I'm saying in the sense that You can't stop with the NFL. You can't.
No, I disagree.
No. Hear me out. You gotta hear me out.
Have you heard? Have you heard of Blockbuster? Do you remember Blockbuster?
No.
Do you remember Blockbuster?
Yes, I worked.
Do you remember Toys R Us?
I worked there.
Do you remember Toys R Us?
Still in business.
It's getting not for long.
Yeah.
You remember Toys R Us?
Yeah.
Macy's.
Yeah.
All of these big, unstoppable.
Correct.
Kmart. Remember Kmart?
Yeah.
Everything fucking falls. The NFL can fucking fall.
Wait, that's not. I'm not saying that it can't. You're missing the point I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we have to treat all of these entities the same. Here's my point.
We need laser focus.
Ice Cube. We can have laser focus on multiple issues. I'm not accepting that. Ice Cube came out with the big three,
which I like.
It's black owned. It's black everything.
Well, it's
Michael Rappaport. That's Jewish. That's cool. Michael Rappaport is one of the whitest things about the show. And he's one of the blackest things.
I don't think he's one of the whitest.
No. I'm literally saying he's literally like Michael Rappaport. That's one of my favorite guys. The big three is a prime example of a start that could be done. To your point, let's create new leagues.
Don't just create the
NFL.
But here's the thing.
Don't just create a new NFL, create a new NBA.
It's got to start. So the thing is absolutely, it's got to start.
Not doubting it.
It has to start. And so you have to.
Let me ask you this question. In theory, for the NBA, we are mad at the NFL. Hear me out on this all the way. We're mad at the most of them. I'm not gonna say everybody, because I've been pissed with the NFL for a long time. The Rooney Rule doesn't work. It's some bullshit. The ownership is non-existent for minorities other than Khan in Jacksonville. My problem is, right, if you're mad at the NFL for black, right, how the fuck can you give the NBA a pass when they did the same shit 20 years ago? Not only did they do that, Dominic K. Not only did they 96 when they told Iverson you can't dress like this no more, discrimination. When they pulled the good brother, I always forget his name, that played. I can't remember his name. That boy.
I get your point, but
hear me out.
Here's why.
But hear me out. You've not only said I'm gonna blackball you in the dark. I'm gonna take your fucking money.
Everything you're saying in 4 words.
All right, go ahead.
We were not woke.
Right.
That's it. That's the only reason.
So
why is it that a woman? Why is it that a woman, which I disagree with, why is it that a woman could be getting abused by her?
A woman.
Listen, a woman get abused by her boyfriend.
Okay.
Physically smacked in the face for years and years and years. And one day she decides to fucking leave.
Right.
And his answer is, why are you leaving now? I've been beating you up for 20 years. Well, today was the last fucking day. Today was the day that I decided to do something.
Okay, and
today was just the day.
To your point, my problem.
She stayed for 20 years doesn't make it right.
You're not.
She just had a breaking point.
I never disagree with that. Day with the NBA, you still got motherfuckers saying the NFL's the devil, but I love the NBA. Where's your day? When are you gonna say enough is enough everything?
I think that in theory, what you're saying is right, and I think we could probably go down the list and probably say, okay, this needs to change, that needs to change, this needs to change. But what happens so frequently is that a lot of times people will say that and keep throwing shit against the wall, and nothing gets done. So you need to focus, address the NBA, the NFL rather. Make the NFL get real change done, and then hold every other sport accountable and use that as your measuring stick.
What do you feel is the situation? Let me ask you. I understand where you're coming from. What is the real change? What is the real change in the NFL?
If you ask me what's going to happen,
what's going to really change?
I don't think that the NFL can change. What I think will happen is that this will get smoothed over. Mm-hmm. It will buckle in some other place, and something else is going to happen.
So would it be more real change that if the NBA repealed the fact that players did choose to exercise their First Amendment right and protest the national anthem any way they want to, they would not get penalized. Is that not more tangible and actionable change right now?
If they decide, say that again.
If the NBA pulled and repealed their player clause, their player conduct rule, that players have to stand upright in an upright fashion and honor the national anthem while it's being played, if they repealed that,
yeah,
and gave these brothers the ability without harm financially or any other way to exercise and protest any way they want to during the national anthem, is that not tangible change?
Well,
yes or no?
Yes or no? It is a change, but I don't want to. Here's my biggest issue.
Oh.
Let me say why. I think we personally make too much of this. Say why? Because it's not real change. The real thing we're talking about is the fucking flag and steel going to back, right?
Right.
It's not no real change. What it is symbolic.
Correct.
Now, if you want to talk about
the way the NBA rule is more than symbolic.
No. All I'm saying in general, the
mindset,
the flag
the
itself, whether the players can kneel and nobody say shit, and it's like, yes, we didn't get no prize because of that.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, the real shit, who gives a fuck? That's not the issue.
I agree.
Like, our real issues are not kneeling or standing for the flag. Way bigger than that. Now,
always been
if
my
we're
point.
talking about the way that the guys' contracts are structured, the way that they're paid, shit like some real shit. Okay, but the flag flag.
We on the same page as that.
It doesn't fucking matter.
But I'm looking at it streamlining to the reason that because I said this as a disclaimer. Some people are boycotting because of the blackballing that's happening.
Yes. Sure.
Other people are boycotting because of the cultural idea that motherfuckers need to understand is shit going on in our community, and this. What I'm saying is the NFL.
And I think that's more. If you want to say that, but my thing is
the NFL and the NBA both don't.
But this goes back to the civil rights movement,
right?
If any businessman is going to that's worth his weight in money is going to say, okay, the players are this race, they got a lot. All right, we're going to say what they want to hear. But you're not changing anything. In our heart, we feel like we want to feel, and we're just going to
go with the flow.
We'll go with the flow,
right.
And we're just going to be more correct.
Disagree with you.
But listen, so in that essence, because if it was me, the racist NFL owner, that's what I would do.
If owner, I would have been the 31 out of 32 and been like, yo, I got this.
Yes.
Sign cap today.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. But these white boys just stuck on pride. Pride. This is pride.
But we saying the same thing. If you what I'm saying, brother, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is,
what's the solution then?
No. I don't. There is no.
That's why.
No easy
that's
solution.
Our disagreement because the solution.
No. There's no. I said it was one. I didn't say there wasn't one. I said there's no easy one.
Definitely not.
What I'm saying is, I wait and realize. Do you know? Look at it this way, Don McKay. I got brothers, basketball heads, wanted to play in the league since they were 5 years old. That have the nerve to say, fuck football, fuck the NFL, I'm boycotting. But you don't, and you can't see anything wrong with the NBA? That's crazy to me. You just tell Master you hate him and you laying up in the bosom with another one.
Everybody doesn't watch all sports. Some people just watch football. Some people don't follow the NBA like that. So, I mean, you can find racism without looking really hard.
Yeah.
So he can say, oh my God, Starbucks coffee. Don't you know how racist they are? I mean, you can, oh my God, I mean, you can do that all day.
And that's why I said don't vilify the players, because most of these motherfuckers.
Why do we vilify Stephen A. Smith?
Well, because Stephen A. Smith
he's just trying to keep his job.
No, but he says dumb shit. And
but he just trying to keep his job.
I gotta stop you. Bullshit. You know why it's bullshit?
He got a family to feed. That's
bullshit.
The
difference is when Jamel Hill was being suspended by ESPN, everybody was like, yo, wherever the fuck you go, we following you. Why? Because she's a journalist. there's more platforms, there's more venues for Stephen A. Smith to get money, for Jamel Hill to get money. Where the fuck is Des Bryant gonna play professional football at?
Maybe you need to do something else.
No. But a lot of these brothers can't.
So take it up. So if that's the case, all the people that Harvey Weinstein raped, you saying that's just was their choice?
They not even fucking with. Well, that some of them did say that. They said that.
There's always a choice.
There's
always a choice.
That's not I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying
I
is,
will not lay down for anybody. It can be my fucking passion, and I will find another fucking way. I would be like, fuck you. I'm not doing that shit.
You do acknowledge that there is no other league. We know that.
Then that means that you create another league.
And it ain't. What I'm saying is, don't vilify these motherfuckers. Man.
I vilify anybody who's thinking wrong.
But here's the thing: people vilify them, and it's like they act like they talk to these motherfuckers on a daily basis. Motherfuckers know they playing for. Listen, let me tell you something. I played ball with brothers from St. Pete, Miami, and I don't know if you know many people from that cultural place and geographical place. But they don't.
I know plenty of people from Dade County.
A lot of them cats don't even like white folk, and
the white folk don't like them either.
No question. But the first time, I've never heard the word cracker used so much until I was on the team with them, and it's like we as a people, we tear these brothers down as if they have no idea that they're playing for racist people. They about their check. Ain't nobody say that they love these dudes. Now, if you talking about Ray Lewis, it's a totally different story.
There's a lot of Ray Lewis.
That's a totally different story. Totally different story. I mean, look at Reggie. And I even said this on the show before. Look at Reggie Miller. All the shit he did for Indiana, and he still got death threats, and nobody protected him, and no security. Yo, these brothers know what's going on, man. They know what's going on. But
everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't know though, and
not everybody.
My thing is that because everybody doesn't want to do the work. Because some stuff is hard.
That's everything.
Some stuff is hard.
That's
right?
everything. That's the civil rights. It's the NAACP.
Yeah, so
NAACP is here in Baltimore. You don't even see these motherfuckers.
Yeah, because like I said, because they come from an outdated mentality.
Absolutely.
And they speak in the wrong speak.
And they fighting the wrong battle. They
absolutely
using the wrong tactics.
All that. And they're just some letters at this point.
Yeah.
My thing is that any corporation, like if you look at record companies, the big record companies, they have been fucking artists, black and white, out of their money for a long time. And now,
what was it, Universal or one of the motherfuckers been around way longer than I ever known.
Well, but my point is that they've been fucking artists out of their money for a long time.
Right.
Finally, the internet came and everything changed. Now you can be DTC, direct to consumer. You can buy your music directly from Beyonce, or any artist you want, and it will go direct to her.
For sure.
And those big companies have now been forced to offer 360 deals or change the structure. They're going after internet sensations. They're going after the big quick hit.
Yeah, you know they'll get a ice JJ Ice Fish, whatever. You know what I mean?
And so my point is that stuff can change. And so
I don't disagree.
All these, like I said, Blockbuster gone. That was
Blockbuster was the shit.
That was a big force for a long time. However,
that was the shit.
Netflix put them out of business.
Redbox put them out of business.
Just that concept.
And then Netflix.
Just that concept.
Netflix is putting Redbox out of business, but I get you.
Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix early.
All that shit.
They had an opportunity to buy early, and those old white men.
They had an opportunity to buy. They had an opportunity to get with Hollywood Video. They had an opportunity to absorb Redbox, and Redbox had an opportunity to get with Netflix.
My point is that those old white men were not innovative enough. They were stuck in their ways, and they fell by the wayside.
But I mean, why could you blame them? I would
have been.
I mean, I'm already rich. Like, fuck you.
No,
like,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because my thing is this. This is a cultural shift. You have to know when shit's changing.
They're not doing it for the culture.
No, cultural shift. I'm talking about the internet was another industrial age.
True.
Like that's groundbreaking. So it's like when the horse and buggy and then the car came. I'm talking about just one of those kind of ships. Whereas though people who make horse hooves, the little horseshoes,
blacksmith,
they out of business.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless you can shift. So when the opportunity came for the car to come around, the people who was in charge of all the horses, if they had the opportunity, which they did, and they didn't buy into it, just like candlelight to electricity. When you had those type of changes, those were cultural shifts. Now we don't have candlelight no more. We got lights.
They're cultural, fundamental, economic changes. But what I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying,
but that's what I'm saying with the NFL. If you can't see, if you can't see that, then you're gonna go out of business, and somebody else is gonna. But
what am I saying? What am I saying, Dominic? In the same breath, that if we feel that way about the NFL,
we gotta start our own shit. Or
we gotta start our own shit. We gotta start something different.
We gotta start something different.
We gotta do different shit with everything.
Yes, I agree with that.
Donald Sterling wasn't that long ago. Dan Gilbert, fucking LeBron. I can't believe LeBron went back to Cleveland.
No, but listen,
I get it.
But listen, you can get. But listen, let me say this: you can take the money now. If the LeBrons, if the Oprahs, if the Will Smiths, if the Magic Johnsons, if the whoever's, if the Bob Johnsons, if the Michael Jordans, if they come together and create something, right? Something, because they have that money that they've obtained from these other organizations, and they create something. That's what I'm talking about. Something. No, I
get it. But the other question is, like I said last week, is who are they already?
Yeah. I'm saying we had to do business. We had to do business.
Who are you already?
But now,
no. But see, being in bed, you got to remember this is big business. These motherfuckers, old people, they old shit. They're not gonna be able to make these moves the way that we want them to make them.
But it can still start.
It can be done.
They just sit back and say, "Oh, can't do nothing."
You know what I equate this to, Don McKay? And this is why I say rap is the way it is. I equate it to when we had Bad Boy. Even though the major distribution deals and labels were white owned, but we had the Bad Boy, we had Rock, we had the Murder Inc., we had the Rough Riders, we had the So Def, we had the big distribution deals with these major white-owned companies, and the talent was controlled by us. That's the real reason that that game tanked in some degree, because we no longer had our place. And I'm talking about tank with quality, if you want to argue. And you're right. We can build our own thing. We can do our own thing. But we have to see a reason to do it. And we have to see a reason across the board. You can't just see it in the NFL. You got to see it in the NBA.
Yeah, it's with food, it's with clothes, it's with everything.
One of the main things, food,
makeup,
the hair,
the fingernails that the girls wear, like all of that.
In this town,
anything that we can sell.
It's a damn shame. Town, Baltimore City, that is historically over 60% of the black culture, black and brown culture. Right? Where do you get most of your fried chicken from? People that are not of that ethnicity.
Once again, that is the direct result of the misguided civil rights movement.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is
because if you go to the black place, you'll say, "Oh, the price is too high."
Yeah,
you go to the white place and they'll say, "Oh, well, this is quality. That's why they charge me."
And no, we as a people have to deliver. As a black business, you got to be on point. You can't be mad at the same time that people are asking you for a discount, but then when I come in there, you don't have what you advertise. We got to hold each other accountable. That's a fact. As a community, we got to start to hold each other accountable. But I'm gonna switch gears real quick. I'm gonna read the script again, let y'all know. We at radio5.com. Nah, I'm going through. All right. We at radio5.com, home of the Diamond K Morning Show. This brother's here every day with the silent killer Nikki. A new episode stream daily 9 a.m. Catch them on radio5.com. The calling number is 404-436-1277. The broadcast today was brought to you in part by the Baltimore Music Awards. Let your voice be heard at the 2017 BMAs. Polls are now open for the 7th annual Red Carpet event honoring Baltimore. Log on to BaltimoreMusicAwards.com before December 3rd to cast your vote in all categories. Radio on Fire reaches over 276,000 viewers per month. Advertise your product, service, or event on RadioOnFire.com by sponsoring an episode of any one of the Radio on Fire shows for as low as $50. Visit RadioOnFire.com/promo to get started. If you want to see any past episodes of any of the Radio on Fire shows, specifically Speakeasy, visit RadioOnFire.com to watch us on demand. Click radio shows in the name of our show to see any episode you may have missed. Switching focus. Going into a little bit more black culture topics. I came on Facebook the other day. I don't know what I was doing. Knowing me, depending on the day, I was with my kids, doing whatever. Or if I wasn't with my kids, I was drinking, doing whatever. Don't judge me. You know, I come on Facebook and everybody's talking about Tyrese. You know, he's too much. Can't take him. He's making it bad for Darcy brothers. I'm like, yo, what did Tyrese do? And so I know Tyrese has said a lot of controversial things, you know, in the past decade. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to subscribe to this because he said some things that I know pissed some people off. I'm thinking he said some crazy. Yesterday, I think, literally, it was the first time I clicked on a video and I saw what was going down. And on the one hand, I'm like, naturally, I'm like, man, he wilding. You know, he acting. He an actor. He can make himself cry. This is not real. But on the other hand, I said, damn, we as a people love to talk about black community, black fathers being absent, child support, black men don't show no emotion, vulnerable. When the Netflix series of 13 Reasons Why come out, we love to talk about suicide. When I look at this brother, I put my shade and cynicism aside. I looked at this video and I asked myself, how many brothers do I know personally that are going what Tyrese is going through with a quarter of the money, no one that cares, and probably feel this way? And I'm gonna ask y'all to, or just ask in general.
Just one. You just want to ask me.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. I'm sorry. I don't know. What do you make of this? Because on the one hand, I felt this brother's pain. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just keeping it real. The cynical part of me was like, yo, he's acting, he's making a scene. But okay, here's the thing. What if days from now he actually does something to himself? What if he actually does something to himself, Diamond K?
Okay, what is that?
What if he harmed himself?
Then he harmed himself.
Damn it! God damn it!
What do you mean?
How do you feel about the Tyrese shit, Diamond K?
Tyrese is setting brown skin people back. Brown skin guys.
They
back.
said dark skin. They said you can't claim
whatever
him.
you want to call him. He's setting them back.
They said you can't claim
he's
him.
making y'all look bad. He is undoing all of the strides that Wesley Snipes made.
Wesley Snipes did that a couple times by himself.
No, but seriously though, there's nothing wrong with showing vulnerability.
Correct.
However, this is something different. This is an entitled singer who knows how to act. Okay, he's not an actor.
I was struggling with that. He's a
singer.
Go ahead.
That's been in some movies. Okay, he's not an actor.
It's like, motherfucker, you know how to cry.
He has one role. He plays the same role every time. He hasn't showed you no depth. You know what I mean?
He was different. He
was
really?
Different. In what?
He was different in ways deep.
Oh yeah.
He's
Jody. He's always Jody, and he's Jody with cars. That's Fast and Furious. He's Jody in the water. You know what I mean? He's always Jody.
All right, so I mean,
he was Jody on the bus when he was drinking the Coke. He's always
It was Sprite.
No, it wasn't.
It was
Coke.
Sprite commercial.
Absolutely Coke.
Wasn't it Sprite commercial?
Absolutely Coke.
It was Coke?
Yes.
All right. But take that out the element. You mean to tell
Sprite
me
is too light. It needed Coke.
You mean to tell me you don't believe nothing that this brother was going through?
I believe
Tyrese was. You don't believe this brother was going through it?
Have you been following his outbursts? Because it's not the first. Yesterday wasn't his first outburst. Okay, he is a jealous, petty.
What is he jealous about?
He's jealous of all of his rich friends because he said he's broke now because he's been fighting the case. You're not broke because you've been fighting the case, Tyrese. You're broke because you waste your money. Okay, that's why you're broke, and you're broke because
I don't even believe that he's
because you're stupid.
Right.
Because he's jealous and petty. He's jealous of The Rock. Right. He's jealous of anybody that makes money that's not doing the dumb shit he's doing. Because he feels like everybody should be doing the dumb shit he's doing. He's entitled because honestly, this may sound harsh, but really, who gives a fuck that you are in a custody battle? Really, because other people got their own shit going on. Your friends may give a fuck, but nobody else gives a fuck.
But okay,
because you married a woman that you could not be faithful to, and she dropped your dumb ass.
Obviously, people care because it became.
Ain't nobody giving no money.
Here's the thing.
No, we will give them money because they don't care. We'll laugh at you.
Care.
No, they don't.
They care. That's about Kim K getting robbed in France.
They don't
care. People care.
No,
maybe you don't care.
No.
Because you're cynical.
It's not. I reported on all these topics. I think you're confused.
So I report on if the shit don't matter.
Listen, I think you're confusing people being nosy and laughing at your pain with caring.
So we're not gonna say motherfuckers actually
caring means that they went to court.
We're gonna say
Tyrese is in court today, downtown. Let's go downtown and go support him. Ain't nobody doing that.
No.
We'll laugh at them on social media. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But that's not the basis of what I'm saying. What if this motherfucker actually needs help? Then what?
He does need help.
All right. So is it?
He needs a father.
So let me shake it to this. This brother is going through a custody battle with his kid.
I know a lot of guys going through a custody battle.
And if anything, a lot of motherfuckers.
He's no different than anybody else. I know a lot of brothers going through a lot of shit.
I didn't say that though. At the core though, can we not empathize with that?
No.
I didn't say his actions.
No.
I said what he's going through.
No.
Why? You can't empathize with a brother in a custody battle.
You always rooting for the underdog. So it's just at the end of the day.
Cynical
but you're not rooting for the regular underdog. You root for the self-inflicted underdog.
Who else did I root for like this guy? I'm not even rooting for him.
You're all players who have no ethics.
You're not going to touch the NFL.
You root for players that with no ethics.
You're not going to touch.
I know he has no ethics, but he's dumb and he can't speak. All he can do is be a lineman. So you can't expect for him to have any ethics or self-respect.
Who did
you said all the players who did not protest.
No,
you said because they ain't got nothing to fall back on.
No, I never said that.
They just dumb.
No, I never said that.
You did.
No, I did not.
You
got to check him. I never said that.
You say we can't fault the players because they have nothing to fall back on and don't want to stand up and be men.
I never said don't. I never said don't blast the people that don't protest.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Oh my goodness! I got this.
What I said was don't be mad at the players for playing the game. Don't vilify them for playing the game.
Right, and not protest.
Now, what I said is you have to realize there's 1,700 motherfuckers in the league.
Sure.
Most of these people, we don't even know who the fuck they are.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about, now if this is a superstar, Antonio Brown, get your ass down and kneel. Des Bryant, get your ass down and kneel. Because you got guaranteed millions. You good. I'm not going to get on the Ravens fullback that shops at the same row of farms as I do. If he chooses not to,
I am.
No, if he chooses not to,
a man is a fucking man.
I'm not going to blast.
So you said bend over for Harvey Weinstein if you don't have that much money.
No,
but if you got money, fuck Harvey Weinstein.
But they're actually saying
not fuck him. But
they're actually saying that's what they did for Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. What I'm trying to get you to understand is it is better. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. I just disagree. There's respect that as a man, even as a woman, as a human fucking being.
Let me ask you a question.
You just can't
let me ask you a very fundamental question.
You are supporting
Let me ask you a very fundamental question. Who do you work for? Yourself. That's exactly what my point is.
What does that mean, though?
You have the privilege and the ability to say the shit that you're saying. The point of what I'm saying is, man, I'm not gonna front on nobody.
I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Miss Parker,
Miss Hawkins.
That's her name, Miss Hawkins. Okay, so New Jack City reference.
What companies have you ever worked for?
My first job was at McDonald's.
All right. Did you ever hit him? I'm gonna hit you another reference. Did you ever hit him like fuck you, and fuck you, I'm out? Did you ever hit him with the half baked shit?
Indirectly. So there was hold on. So there was an opportunity. I had a performance that I wanted to do, and I gave them notice, and they didn't want to give me off. Right.
So you said fuck them.
Correct.
How old were you?
And so 16.
Did you have any real responsibilities?
But here's my point. My point is that no. I definitely have responsibilities. Here's my point. My point is that yes, I got another job somewhere else.
Right.
Okay. So, but to me, it was devastating losing my McCheck. It was devastating. So to me,
you're $5.16 an hour.
No, my $6.75 an hour. It was yes, I did. It was in Linthicum. Yes, it was. That's why I worked all the way out there. Yes, that's why I worked all the way out there.
The extra 50 cents to get on the motherfucking bus.
So my point. Here's my point. My point is that everybody has their own personal McCheck. So whether your McCheck is an actual McCheck, right, or your McCheck is a McMaryland check, or whether your McCheck is the government.
So
check.
Are you virtually telling every motherfucker that if you see, and I'm not just, and here's where
I'm absolutely saying.
Wait. Here's where we agree. The only thing that we disagree on is that I can say it, but I'm gonna tell it to you, and I don't really expect you to do shit because I respect where you gotta be. You know what I'm saying? I tell people this shit all the time. Don't get on an NFL player. Promise. Let me cook. Don't get on an NFL player if you work for the state of Maryland under a certain regime.
Why?
Under certain office. I'm gonna tell you why. Under certain office where you know there are racist practices, right? And you do nothing about it. Don't get on them if you don't do shit your damn self. To your point, you're saying stand up for what is right. What I'm saying is I can tell you that shit, but I know you're not gonna do it because I know you.
See, that's where you're wrong, my brother, because you have to light the fire. So if
I'm lighting it,
and here's what a lot of people do. A lot of people look to the people that they see on TV, look to people that they see on the internet as exactly. Yeah. So if they see somebody that they idolize, maybe idolize is too big of a word, but it's somebody that they admire.
Idolize Beyonce.
But whatever. I mean,
where the fuck is Beyonce?
If they see anyway? Slow down. So you jumping all over the place. So they see somebody.
I'm very focused.
If you see somebody that you admire doing something,
right, then
that can give you the strength
to
do it in your own world, and then it will give you the strength to teach your children to do that. And this, once again, coming full circle, is the type of things that I would have wished that the civil rights movement more so focused on. But again, we don't have to keep hammering them because that was then, and we can change that now.
And I don't think that was their fight at the time.
Probably
their fight at the time was to do shit that needed to be done. The shit that they did had to be done. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like for us to be like prime example, the building that we're in right now would have been white only, or would have been some other shit. They did what they had to do.
And I would have built something else or got something else. My point is that I wouldn't have said I can't do it.
But this is there
because I know my mindset. So my mindset, whatever I decided to do, I wouldn't have been doing internet radio in the '60s. You're right about that.
Argue that.
But whatever I would have been doing,
mindset because they laid the foundation.
No, I have the mindset.
I could argue that.
No, I have the mindset because my parents taught me the mindset.
Because they had the foundation.
Because
here's the argument. Here's the argument. Give me a minute. You are socialized to believe in what your environment produces you to. Only in rare cases or other instances that you are able to be beyond your socialization. And so what happened?
Disagree.
No. This has been proven. I'm not saying it applies to everybody, but what I'm saying is in the 60s, okay, a lot of people didn't do things because the environment didn't produce it.
No, that's not true.
No. I'm giving you.
They looked leaders.
I'm not saying it's the absolute.
And Jesse Jackson and them led them astray.
I'm not saying it's the absolute. What I'm saying is that some people thought that, and what the people of the civil rights movement had to face, we would never fathom that shit today. It's so easy for us as spoiled, privileged ass people that benefited from that to say, "Oh, I would have did this. I would have did that."
Pause. All right, let's go back to a lot of what happened. So you're going in a restaurant, and you're not supposed to come in this restaurant, or you're supposed to go in the back door, or you're not supposed to sit at the table, whatever the scenario was.
Right.
And the young lady is sitting at the table.
Right.
At the counter. And they said, you ain't supposed to be sitting here. And she decides that she doesn't want to leave. And they, assault her or throw shit to her or do all the things to her that they did. Right. I say and they, arrested her, do different things. And then the next day, 6 more people come and they do the same thing. And all of that shit should not have been the focus.
You're saying
the
they
focus
should have built their own.
Fuck them. Fuck their stupid ass restaurant. Fuck that. I'm saying that it's now at Miss Nikki's house. Right. We buy Miss Nikki's cooking out her kitchen.
We can pack Miss Nikki's house out.
Miss Nikki's cooking out. Go buy food for Miss Nikki, and then a year from now, Miss Nikki's gonna own. Hold up, a year from now, Miss Nikki, because I know you're gonna say they ain't had no money for that, which is
I'm not
true.
Gonna say that.
We buy everybody in this area can't go to this place. Fuck that place. We go to Miss Nikki's kitchen. Hold up. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let's go to Miss Nikki's kitchen. No, I'm not. You are. Let's go. The movement should have been this. Let's go to everywhere.
It had to be both. You're down.
It didn't have to be both.
Listen,
fuck the both.
Listen.
No,
it wasn't about. It wasn't about. Listen, it wasn't about being able to go to Woolworths. It was.
Yes, it was.
It was partially about that.
No, it was always about that.
It was partially about being able to go to Woolworths. But it was also partially about having the ability in a free fucking country to do what free men do. So what white place? So do you ever go to anything white?
The only thing, yes.
Do you go to anything white?
Yes. Here's the thing.
So by your logic, don't go to shit white.
No, that's not it. That's not it. Because what you're missing, and this is the key point. What you're missing is this. We were operating from a disadvantage. We were operating from a major disadvantage. The other ethnic groups have economic power. Right. We are starting from less than 0 on the economic power scale. So therefore, the rules that apply to everybody else didn't apply to us because we got to catch up to everybody else. Once white people and other nations respect power. Mm-hmm. We have power, but we didn't have leadership that had a very good point to bring us to. So they thought that because the chains are off, because we're no longer enslaved, that means everything's cool now. But you had years and years of generations of people who were raised to feel that we weren't that. So in order for us to change that mindset, we had to operate as a nation within this nation, and we had to have economic power. We had to have a lot of shit. We could have been the Jewish people from the standpoint of we could have been controlling shit if we had focused our buying power a long time ago.
The difference is factually, and it's a fact. The difference is that Jewish people have received reparations.
Fuck reparations.
I heard you.
Fuck reparations.
I heard you. Hear me out. Yeah. Jewish people also blend in with the dominant culture because of this.
Fuck that too.
But the reality is that many of these people were not fighting for inclusion. They were antagonists to the idea that you treat me as less than a human. That's a fact.
But
am I right or wrong?
But you're wrong from the standpoint of this.
No, am I right or wrong?
You're wrong. No, you're wrong.
They fought for human equality. Treat me like a fucking human being. Not that I have to sit at your lunch counter.
No.
Treat me as a human being.
That may have
in your
been,
book, the civil rights did nothing.
It was misguided.
It did nothing.
It's like if we're trying to get Colin Kaepernick, it's like the people that say,
don't
just
give
Colin Kaepernick a job.
Don't do that.
Misguided.
You're going to prove my point. If you
I'm
say
definitely
that,
not proving your point. I'm definitely not proving your point. What I'm trying to get you to see that you don't see is that if your goal was to for people to treat you just as a human, if that's your goal,
as one of their goals, it wasn't the only.
But listen,
goal.
But some people may have had different goals, so,
right?
So
and
we
that's
can say that. But listen. I'm shitting on. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because doing what I'm saying, if they did that, would have got them.
Bullshit.
No.
Now, how the Black Panthers did that?
No.
They created their own after
It wasn't
school
enough. So,
but they did it.
No, but that doesn't count.
Didn't do it.
No, I say didn't do it because it no longer exists.
But they
so
did.
Therefore,
that's not factually true.
Anybody you can say anything that was done once is already been done. It has to be done and maintained. That doesn't count.
It's one thing to say that it wasn't done and then it was longevity. It's two different facts.
I can't even say longevity. Here's my point. If somebody down wherever they are that did something, one obscure town did something, that doesn't count. There's too many people. So my point, what I'm trying to get you to see that you fail to see because you have, I don't want to say it, but you have a mentality that is not conducive to the change that is needed for the domination of our people. It is a mindset that is conducive for the get along with everybody else, but it won't push us to the forefront. And if we want to go to the forefront,
I had to stop you because I think everything I said doesn't represent my mindset. And if you heard me say things and you listen to what I'm saying, I've agreed with you on many points. What I'm talking about is that we have to realize the civil rights movement had many different ideologies. And what I'm trying to tell you is
name three.
Rustin, who was Brother Outsider, who organized for Martin Luther King, who was his advisor, who was boycotting since the 40s, and because he had radical ideas, but because he was gay, the black community never liked him. You got MLK, who fought for humanity.
But not the people. What are the ideals?
Oh, his ideals was fuck the government. Pretty much fuck the government.
Okay.
Then you got MLK.
But that's not a goal.
I'm not. You asked me the ideas. I didn't say a goal. You asked me ideas.
No, okay. Well, let me rephrase what the question.
No. I'm going with the ideas.
I asked the question wrong. I asked the question wrong. What are the three different? You said there were many goals.
I didn't
name three goals. You did,
Nikki. I never said that. I said there are many different ideas. Did I not say that? I said there are many different ideas.
Okay, so one idea was fuck the government.
Barry Rustin had an anti-governmental idea. You got Malcolm X that said fuck immigration. You got MLK.
All right, so here's the definition because you're going off. We don't have all that time. You're giving wrong facts.
Oh my!
The civil rights movement. The civil rights movement is a term. The strategies, groups, social movements in the United States whose goals were to end racial segregation and discrimination against African Americans.
That's two
which
different
is
things.
Which is what I've said from the top.
That's
because
where did you get that from though?
This is Wikipedia.
This
is an accurate definition.
Wikipedia.
This is an accurate definition.
Wikipedia. That is not derived from the roots of our people.
This is an accurate definition. That's an accurate definition of the civil rights movement.
If you listen to what I'm saying, I've never disagreed with you once. Never.
Sure you have.
No, I haven't.
And here's the other part that is significant that you have not mentioned once.
What's that?
The movement was characterized by civil resistance, nonviolent protest. Here's
I didn't have to highlight that. That wasn't the point of what I was talking about.
It's significant.
You said the civil rights movement was bullshit. You're basically
I never said that.
I said here's what it was bullshit or not.
Here's what I said.
Do you believe it's bullshit or not?
Bullshit? No, I don't. I didn't use that word at all.
Okay.
Here's what I do believe.
What do you believe about the civil rights movement?
I believe that the civil rights movement should have been centralized in black people supporting and building black businesses to the point that every city, every community that had black people in it had black businesses.
So you're saying that didn't happen?
No, it did not.
How? Baltimore throughout the 60s had black-owned everything. What happened? What happened right
Once
here?
Again,
integration
happened.
I heard
integration happened.
No, I heard you. Hear me out. What also happened? You had you're from West Side Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Where did the fucking highway to nowhere come from? Did black people, the highway to nowhere, where did that come from? Black people just decided we're going to displace over 600, 900 people and the fluid businesses to build a fucking U.S. highway? Did they do that, Don McKay?
No, black people didn't do that.
No. So my point
what
is,
are you talking about?
We had black owned shit. We
Where did it go?
No. We didn't say
white only pie is the mentality and the pride. They thought that the white people shit was better, and they didn't support the black people shit. And then other people got hooked on drugs and the community and crime, and that's what tore down. And that happened in every community country because they thought white was better.
You gotta listen to me. I can give you two historical moments prior to civil rights where your theory is not true. And
no, you can't.
And
because what I'm talking about has never happened before.
No. You gotta hear me out. You can't say it. And I have it on my agenda. Never forget the town of North Florida of Rosewood. Rosewood in the 1920s was a affluent black everything.
I'm well versed on the town.
And what happened?
We got 5 minutes. Don't get to your bigger point.
It got burned down and shut out.
Yes.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And people stood by and did nothing. People stood by and did nothing. You are finished.
Tulsa, Oklahoma got bombed and burned down.
And they stood by and did nothing about it.
Yeah, you speaking from but my point is this. You're talking about.
So that means don't have one. They destroyed it. Don't make another one. Bow down. You gotta get the white only pie.
That's not my point.
That should have caused a fucking major civil war.
I got 5 minutes, and you're not even listening to me. My point is.
Bow down. I got your point. Bow down.
No. It ain't the point of bowing down. My point is
take it up the ass. That's what your point is.
I never said that.
You did. You said you can't build a community. They tried. We had it already. Now we have to bow down.
Anything.
You did.
You put words in my mouth.
You did.
What I said was, you're saying that the civil rights took away the ideal that we.
I did not say that.
That's what you virtually saying.
I said.
Let me say it again. The civil rights didn't tell people not to support black. That's bullshit.
They said the white was better.
No, the civil rights movement didn't say that. You telling me during the civil rights we didn't have affluent black businesses and communities? Bullshit.
All of them disappeared within
5
years of 1968, which was when it all ended.
Because of what? Drugs.
Because of the mindset.
Drugs.
The mindset. No, drugs didn't do it. The businesses dried up because people didn't support them.
So they didn't flood the communities with drugs in the late 1970s.
But that's not what killed the businesses.
This was killing the businesses now.
No, it's not.
This is killing the communities now.
That's not what's killing the businesses.
The point is, during the civil rights,
killing the businesses.
How old is Don McKay?
1954.
1954 to when?
68.
So you telling me from 1954 to 68, black people was trying to only fuck with white?
Yes.
Bullshit.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Yes. The entertainers, I'm absolutely right.
You're wrong.
The entertainers were trying to sing at all of the white things. They wanted to say.
The entertainers.
No. I'm telling you, it's
black
a mindset.
Baltimore.
It's a mindset.
What was Baltimore like from 1968 for black?
Let's talk about the nation. We're talking about the nation.
I'm asking you. Every city had black businesses.
So once again,
you like to say
it doesn't even matter. You ain't got to go back to the 60s. We can go to right now. Let's go to right now. Fuck the 60s.
I agree with you.
It's the same. This is the result of that mindset. The result of the mindset. The reason why we don't have major black businesses in every industry is because we've been brainwashed to feel that ours is not better.
I agree with you. But what you're trying to tell me,
and that mindset came from integration.
But I agree with you.
Period.
But did I not say that?
That's it. It's nothing else.
Mike, did I not say that? Did I not give you the example of HBCU athletes versus PWI. I told you I agree with you. My point is, don't tell me I'm talking about everybody get together when all I've been saying was from 54 to 68, we had black communities. We lost them motherfuckers. I didn't say I don't disagree with you. You said we lost them.
We gave them away and we did not support them.
Okay,
Losing
so
it means like, not supporting. Like if you have a hardware store, going to the other hardware stores because for whatever reasons, whatever pricing or service or whatever the reason was.
After the riot, burned the only black hardware store in our fucking neighborhood down.
Some of that
happened.
So does that mean you don't make another hard?
One.
So what about when he died?
I wasn't the one that owned it.
But my point is that everything wasn't burned down from the riots. So I mean, it's just we make excuses instead of us saying yes, that was wrong. Let's correct it. We want to make excuses as to why the stuff happened. Whatever happened, happened.
I'm a proponent of all black everything, all brown everything. You can dabble in other things. We have to.
Sure.
As a population, we literally have to. What I'm trying to say is the civil rights movement. This is what I've been saying. The civil rights movement served this purpose. Those brothers and sisters did what they had to do for a purpose that we today cannot fathom.
All right, let's get past that. What about today? Let's get past that because we can't change history.
Oh, today we got to do a whole lot more. We got to do a whole lot more.
So like what?
This is why I say,
what's the end goal? What's the one thing that we need to do?
Well, the end goal, there is not one thing. You can't surmise everything into being one thing.
Or what the biggest.
But the big picture should be for our community, our people to rise above the shit that we're going through and create a better future and a better present for ourselves. We have to first realize, and to your point, we have to shit is bigger than just Kaepernick don't have a job. We have to realize that it's just not the NFL, NBA's, and if it's whatever. We also have to realize.
But that's just entertainment.
Hold up. We also have to realize that each one teach one. Just because you're good and you're well off, and I tell motherfuckers this all the time. Carter G. Woodson said this in the 1920s, 1930s. Most of the highly educated black people aren't going to do a goddamn thing for their community and go back. Hence why I said last week, you can't say black girl magic, black boy magic, black dominance, black excellence because a motherfucker got an engineering degree and he might have a $200,000 job. What about the teacher? What about the librarian? The people that got to work with the people that nobody wants to work with. We got to see the big picture that everybody needs to do their part. Everybody, whether you're in position or not, you got to do your part. You got to do your part, and you got to hold people accountable. We like to think, and you even said this, we like to think as a people, oh, I'm good, I'm comfortable, oh, we win, we good, we got millionaires, we got status, but what about the majority of people? I always tell people, I'm an engineer, I could have did this, I could have did that, but if I'm not trying to help people, then what good am I doing you? Because no matter where the fuck you move, they still gonna break in your shit. But if I can take a young man to the side and say, hey, that ain't the way you got to go, that's more fulfilling for me. And what I'm saying is, don't preach to everybody that everybody got to be an NBA ball player. Everybody got to be an engineer. You could be something different. And accountability is critical. Hold your brother accountable. Hence why I always come in here and say, don't throw trash on the ground. Don't do the dumb shit. Don't subscribe to violence. Don't subscribe to the bullshit. When are we going to say enough is enough? When are we going to say, like you said, after 20 years, not only am I tired of getting beat up by other people, I'm tired of getting beat up by the people that look like me. Lying? When are we going to be tired of that shit? I'm just saying.
That's a good ending.
Thank you. Man, you fussed me out, though.
No, it's passionate conversation.
He fussed me out. But I thank you, brother Diamond K, and you are a glaring example. You have built yourself an empire. You know, you're doing your thing. You got the silent killer in the building, and it looks good, and I'm happy to be here. We were here on RadioOnFire.com. I held it on for myself for the speakeasy because Jennifer, okay, is in Vegas. Why? She didn't tell me. You know, she's out there turning up, getting it popping. Left me here by myself. But we'll see you guys next week, and we out.